All sports fans are pretty much nostalgic when it comes to the history of their particular sport, but for NASCAR fans, it's kicked up a notch, especially with the 2014 season. Which begs the question of this video, why are NASCAR fans obsessed with 2014 so much? It's for a plethora of reasons, and the first of them being the new championship format. The win and you're in system shocked a lot of the fan base when it was announced, and basically marked the beginning of the playoff era that we're currently in. The next biggest reason being, of course, the Aero Package. The changes were slightly different from 2013, adding more downforce with 900 horsepower.
The drivers feel very good about the car, but they do indicate that sometimes when they get in heavy traffic, the car does get a bit unpredictable and less stable. So we're hoping that this will in fact provide the drivers with more confidence in these type of very let's say congested environments to drive harder and be willing to pass.
Once the season got started, we immediately got a major storyline. Obviously, the Daytona 500 is big every year, but when NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins, it's an even bigger deal. Kevin Harvick immediately wins with his new team, Stewart Racing. Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano seem to have Penske on a roll. Jeff Gordon is showing true championship form early on in the Drive for 5. Defending champion and Mr. Six-time up to this point Jimmy Johnson is slightly off, but still very good. The Busch brothers, Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch, get wins early on in the season. Kurt Busch also getting his first win for Stewart Racing. Denny Hamlin winning in a controversial finish at Talladega. You also have Carl Edwards giving Roush Fenway Racing one last hurrah. Eric Almirola claims his first rain-shortened victory, that being the first of his career. I'm just playing, I promise. AJ Allmendinger finally crossing that bridge, scoring his first career win at the Glen. And who could forget Casey Kane's dramatic victory late in the season to clinch a playoff spot at Atlanta on Labor Day weekend. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, and Clint Boyer would clinch their spots in the playoffs on points, but definitely the best of the rest was rookie sensation Kyle Larson, who not only outshines preseason Rookie of the Year favorite Austin Dillon, but shows enough promise during the season to wonder if he'll one day become a future champion. So now that we've ran through a really quick regular season recap, we need to go back to the Aero Package. If you're on NASCAR Twitter, you've probably seen a clip from the 2014 season at least once. The package made for some fantastic racing. Let's take a look at a few highlights that NASCAR Twitter is always raving over.
I'll tell you, Kyle Larson is just not going to give up, is he? And look at Gordon with the crossover. Into the wall there. That might cost him that second spot.
Yeah, he can't open the bottom because Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, he'll pounce.
Matt Kenseth playing defense.
Here he goes. He's there.
They're both there. But Keselowski has the spot on the outside.
Gordon had to check up. He bumped into the back of Matt, and that allowed the two to get to the outside. But here comes the 22 on the bottom.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth almost got in too deep. He's going to pay the price.
Whoa, hang on to her, buddy. That two car was all over the place.
He almost got turned around as his teammate Logano guns for the lead and takes Gordon with him.
Logano goes to the lead.
And Jeff Gordon is there. He is under and past Matt Kenseth.
Whoa! The two just gave the 20 a huge shot, and here comes Kyle Busch
on the inside.
Look at this.
And he has those 4 fresh tires, Kyle Busch has.
Yeah, but he doesn't have but 4 laps to go.
Well, he's there. They touch.
Kevin Harvick and Paul Menard looking for a way through. If Logano doesn't complete this pass, he might lose 1 or 2 spots, though. Logano's going to hang on as Harvick runs around the outside to second.
He'll lose another spot and maybe another.
Menard to third. Dale Jr. to his outside for fourth.
As we've said, you get on the bottom, you get loose, car gets a little sideways, and it hurts your exits. But oh, you can't do that.
They want to be the first car 1 lap down.
No. Look at Kenseth up in there in the 20. He wants part of this.
You can do that.
I don't know how they get the free pass if they all wad up in the same caution.
I guess you can.
And Casey Kane, he's going to get boxed in, but Kevin Harvick in the 4 rolled out just for a second.
Yeah, but look at the 20 car sail off into the corner on the outside, and that 20 car is on a rail.
That was a perfect example of how these drivers use that side draft and get right down on the right rear corner of somebody to try to either slow them down or loosen them up. That's brought the 4 car of Harvick back into this.
So there, a lead change. Joey Logano leading that lap and out in front. Bonus point 22 after the flat tire that happened at lap 96. Harvick again with an inside look.
Gonna make a little room now. Boy, look at Logano wheel that thing up.
Man. There's still a lot to go, just under 100 laps, but these guys know that it's getting down to that time. Track position is going to be important.
I can definitely see why NASCAR Twitter and a lot of NASCAR fans in general are always nostalgic about this package. The drivers without a doubt could use the best of their talent to get up front. You had high horsepower and high downforce that not only made for some fantastic racing at times, but also paved the way for some extremely fast speeds. But if anyone in their right mind is going to say it is straight up perfect, they are lying to you, or they're delusional. One of the flaws of this package was without a doubt the super speedway racing. Just note, I was a diehard Dale Jr. fan during this era. While I absolutely loved watching him win the 500 that year, it was extremely annoying to see the leader have complete lane control, able to maneuver up and down the racetrack, basically unchallenged. Another key component in the nostalgia was the qualifying sessions, and this was also the first year of group qualifying. Hearing the roar of those 900 horsepower beasts was absolutely amazing in person.
Well, I don't think he's going to do it, though. You can see he's over a 1/10 and a half slower.
Joey, 27,939.
On lap 1, 14.761.
That's all he had, Larry.
That's all he needs.
Some other moments from the 2014 season that you'll see occasionally pop up are also the wrecks. Here's a few wrecks that you might have forgotten were from that season.
The bright yellow car, Kenseth, he's coming down because Brad Keselowski slowed up. He was trying to get out of that lane, but like you said, the 22 of Logano was already there.
Logano got there. Matt decided he was going to hook a left and dive low.
Dale Jr. misses it on the inside.
Stenhouse was... You can see Ricky had been into the wall on the outside, and he's just helpless. No steering in that car.
And that makes better sense because what I saw in the first replay, it's like he never slowed down.
A scary crash. Here's our camera on top of the safer barrier right at start finish.
Safety fence is doing a great job.
Oops.
That 48 lot like happened in the Unlimited. Looked like Jimmy's car just got loose and spun.
Look at Clint Boyer in that 15 car get up in the air.
2 by 2. Middle's open. We're upside down. Fine, nothing else is going to hit you.
It looked like the 33 car of Brian Scott, something. And watch Danica right there. Man, that was a lick.
Oh, my. Oh, Trevor Bayne and a car in the wall. Hard in turn number 1.
If it's on fire in the car, I need you to...
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
As soon as I can, if it's on fire in the car there.
Wow, that thing is...
Get low if you can. Come on low. Start working your way low. Work your way low. One more car. Come on down. Come on down. Turn left. It's on fire. Get out.
Earnhardt's car is ablaze after a hard impact. with the right front into the turn one wall just as we go to green.
Yeah, he's going down the front here, headed toward turn one. You can see at 190 mile an hour, and he lost a tire.
Did he not? I believe he just drove down through the grass, which is not unusual for doing that here.
Yeah, that's right. Looking back on it, yeah, he clipped the grass.
Vessel spinning from contact.
Came across and got you. We're tore up pretty bad here, guys.
Looks like the 16 got into the 5 a little bit too hard and just turned him. And man, what talk about getting piled up.
Watch the 3 car when we get another replay of Austin Dillon come shooting up through the middle and trying to avoid the accident.
26 of Cole Witt just got into the 18.
Biffle coming back on the track that made Newman try to avoid running into him.
A couple more things to go over before we get to the playoffs and conclusion. 2014 marked the final year of the $4.8 billion TV agreement that was reached in 2005. Turner Sports said goodbye to NASCAR after a 32-year run, while ESPN, in their brief return to NASCAR, ended after just 8 years, and ESPN has pretty much neglected motorsports ever since. Of course, we have to address the elephant in the room here. The Tony Stewart incident involving the tragic death of Kevin Ward Jr. was obviously major news towards the end of the summer. I remember finding out the night this happened and was just in shock, and I couldn't even sleep. His motives were questioned for months and kinda still are to this day, but I think the general opinion out there today is that Tony Stewart obviously didn't do this on purpose. Quick condolences to Kevin Ward Jr. and his family. I hope they are healing. Back to NASCAR, and we have finally reached the 2014 playoffs. Say what you will about the win in your in system. In my opinion, the 2014 edition of this format was the best of all time. Thank the Lord for Brad Keselowski. He was absolutely running over everybody in this playoff format. But really, when you look back on history, he was one of the first to really adapt the attitude of, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do to win. Hey, don't blame me, blame the system. Yeah, go tell Jeff Gordon and his crew that. The 2 and 24 teams fighting it out on pit road was exactly the conflict NASCAR wanted. They wanted those Game 7 type moments. Kevin Harvick needing to win to advance at Phoenix was one of them. The other being Ryan Newman completely shoving Larson out of the way to make the championship 4. Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin, and Joey Logano all made the inaugural championship 4 race, but in the end, Kevin Harvick walked away with his first ever championship. When I look back at the 2014 season personally, I definitely have a soft spot for it. In some ways, it's similar to the 2004 season. You had the introduction of a new championship system, Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon once again being championship favorites. There were periods of transition in different areas of NASCAR in 2004 and 2014. The major difference, however, is that the 2014 season marked the beginning of an end of an era. This was the peak of a few superstars that a generation grew up watching. The next 5 to 6 seasons would see a major shift as multiple superstars would end up retiring. The package from the 2014 season was pretty much scrapped after only a year. NASCAR started to go in the direction of less horsepower. The package definitely wasn't perfect, but looking back, it provided for some pretty good racing at times. But the funny thing about this is, if you were to ask NASCAR fans on the internet at the time if they preferred this package, you would usually get a very negative response. In conclusion, there was a large portion of the fan base that definitely didn't appreciate this season at the time, and the reason we're all nostalgic over this season now is because a lot of the big names from that era are pretty much gone today. And if you also take a look at the Aero packages that preceded this one, you definitely get a clear picture on why NASCAR fans are more nostalgic over this season compared to others. You never know you have a good thing until it's gone. I am just glad I got to enjoy every minute of this season. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.